What's up, guys? Welcome once again to the Save Continue Newscast. My name is Ryan Robinson. That's Shanae Howard.
What's up, guys?
That's Tom Shelby.
Hello.
Every week we get together with news stories from the previous week that we thought were interesting. Who's first with the news?
All I really have is the whole Rockstar hullabaloo.
Uh-oh.
You guys heard about this, yes?
Yes.
Was it Vulture that reported on it?
Yeah, it was Vulture. I don't remember the name of the specific journalist, though.
Okay, yeah. So they had like at least an hour long interview with the Housers, which is weird because the Housers extremely rarely are seen or give interviews.
Notoriously elusive.
And Dan Houser said something about them having 100-hour weeks while working on Red Dead. And that internet kind of blew up from there, talking about crunch, things of that nature. Some ex-Rockstar employees complaining about crunch. So Rockstar they lifted their employee ban on Twitter referencing the game and the process. And quite a few Rockstar employees who currently work there have taken it upon themselves to get on Twitter and defend the company. So what do you guys think?
I think there would also probably be a deterrent that if you... Now, let me preface this by saying I've never worked at Rockstar before or any video game developer, so this is all speculative. But I do think that there would be a lot of incentive to take to social media and defend the company, and there would be, I think the fear of retaliation would keep me from saying otherwise. That being said, the conditions at Rockstar could be pretty good, and I'd have no idea.
Well, that and like fear of retaliation this late, like the game I would assume is gold by now. And most of these people are contracted. So they have more than likely been paid what they will be paid at this point. So what fear of retaliation is there?
As far as future contracts and, reputation as far as that. Because I know
future contracts with Rockstar?
Maybe.
Or their own employment.
But then again, I think also that... and again, like I said, it's speculative. I don't work there. I don't know what the conditions are actually like. And Dan Houser did come out and say, hey, I was actually speaking specifically about the small writing team, which is him and like 3 other people. So he came out and said, I didn't mean everybody. I just meant me and my small team.
And I think that's a big part of the reason why the Housers don't typically do interviews. You might remember with GTA 5, during the development of that game, they had accusations of crunch as well. So that was a long time ago. And that's honestly the last time I can remember either Houser having been interviewed by anybody.
But I think that I think there had been some skepticism cast on his statement after the fact. Like, why didn't you just say the writing team to begin with? But then again, he might not have felt like he needed to.
Sure.
And then also, I do know that a lot of people who are overwork themselves take it as a pride point almost that they will work so many hours. I've definitely worked in offices where people work overtime.
Yeah, I do that every week.
And they're just like, oh, well, I've been working 70 hours the last couple of weeks. And it's just and also some of them, I don't know, get a weird complex about it, or that's what they talk about or think about because that's what they do.
So the major solution to these, crunch situations that we've heard coming out of developers recently and in the past has been to unionize.
I've been seeing a lot of talk about that.
Well, it's difficult to do. Like the movie industry, it's way different, right? And even the movie industry took 4 or 5 decades for them to unionize. This industry is much younger, right? But I don't know. As somebody who's been part of a workers' union, I was still required to work tons of hours.
I don't know. I think unionization would definitely be a good thing, but I also think that a lot of the presence of crunch has a lot to do with project planning, and making a more efficient timetable for your project. That being said, I don't know how much planning had gone into this game or any other game. I have to imagine a game of this scope had a lot of pre-development before they actually started working on it. But
well, I mean, and we know that Red Dead Redemption 2 has been worked on since the launch of Grand Theft Auto 5, so it's been worked on for a long time.
Like
it's
at
not
least
like
5 years.
It's not like they had 3 years to make this game and hey, we need to get it out the door.
And also, like the whole, and again, I don't know anything about the conditions at work at Rockstar, but I mean, I don't know if he meant 100-hour weeks for the duration of the project, 100-hour weeks for the last few weeks. I don't know.
Right.
I'm not saying I'm not saying there are going to be a lot of people who are ever okay with working a 100-hour week, but I think that a lot of the takeaway from a lot of people was that I think a lot of people took the extreme and said he probably meant we've been working 100-hour weeks for the entire 5 years this game has been in development.
And he obviously did not.
Yeah, but
I mean, even some of the current employees that do talk about crunch, many of them have been tweeting that, yeah, there's times where they've worked 50, 60 hours, 70 hours, right? But that was very infrequent and only somewhat recently.
I think that
and that they were never required to do so because by law, Rockstar cannot require them to do so.
Yeah, I think that at some point on any project, some amount of crunch is inevitable.
Yeah.
And I think that really the key is minimizing that as much as possible.
Well, it's funny. You're the only person I've heard say that on any project that it's inevitable, right? And like crunch is built into this industry from the very first video games. There was crunch. The first video game had crunch.
Yeah.
Right. But yeah, like doesn't mean it can't be lessened.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think in the ideal situation is to kind of minimize and really mitigate the amount of labor you're putting on people, and and I think also the solution is to kind of act. And I don't know, how a lot of companies do this, or if they do it, but I think also making sure to actively take care of your employees too is really important.
Sure. That's all I got.
Okay.
I just had stuff on that, and then about how Total Biscuit's going to be included into the Esports Hall of Fame as I think it's one of the first non-player ones.
That's weird. Why?
I want to know.
I mean, I could see something like a Yoshinori Ono, who is not a player, but still has had a big influence on esports.
Mm-hmm. What is Total Biscuit most known for?
YouTube.
Anything specific
he worked
on
on StarCraft 2 esports as well, and some other projects.
Okay.
Sounds very accomplished.
StarCraft 2 is a big deal, man. Well, good for him. I don't know. I guess there are a lot of people who are probably really excited about that, but
sure.
And I wouldn't want to take away from their right to be excited about it, but I didn't really know anything about this guy until after he had passed, so I kind of don't have an opinion on him.
I just think that there's a lot of individuals in the industry that have done much more for esports that should be recognized first.
Yeah.
You're entitled to that opinion.
Sure.
Then again, I don't know how these things are even. Like, how do you quantify? Like, how do you quantify that level of recognition, right? Like, I guess somebody decides that this person's accomplishments are worth this much, and I don't know. But then again, I don't know of any of his accomplishments. I'm sure they're numerous, but I don't know anything about the guy. Apparently, Days Gone got delayed again to April.
Yeah.
Which is, I've always been someone who has been okay when that happens. I'm always slightly disappointed when stuff like that happens, but I'm generally okay with it. Because I feel like it's better for a game to take longer than not long enough and then be bad when it comes out.
Yeah, I mean, there's that old Miyamoto quote, but like, with Days Gone, it's kind of weird. Like, I've seen a lot of people upset about it.
Mm-hmm.
And these are the same people that were buying The Last Guardian and Final Fantasy 15 and that will buy Kingdom Hearts 3.
They'll buy it.
And it's like, this game was only announced a few years ago. Those games were in development hell for a decade.
You were a child when that game was announced.
Exactly. Like, go easy on them.
Yeah.
Plus, Sony first party's been killing it. Like, they put out games more frequently than Xbox or even Nintendo for that matter.
Yeah.
Nintendo more frequently, but more often than not, it's a re-release of a Wii U game.
Right.
So
also making video games is hard. So
yeah.
You know,
as far as new games, new first-party games,
Yeah.
Sony's been doing it more than anybody.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I think we talked about it a few months ago. Like, I don't remember the last new IP. I think the last new IP that I can think of from Microsoft is Sunset Overdrive.
Sure. But, I mean, even if we're not looking at that, right, like, what's the closest comparison on the Microsoft side? Crackdown 3.
Yeah.
Huge difference there.
Yeah.
You know?
You know, the funny thing about Crackdown 3 is I always forget about it until someone brings it up.
Sure.
I don't know. I think that Days Gone taking a longer time, especially with what I've already seen of that game and what I know that they're doing with that game, take your time to get that right. That game looks complicated. And so, you know, I'd like them to take the time to like make sure nothing breaks, because I would hate for that game to be to come out too quickly, and then have something like broken AI or something.
Sure. In shambles.
Sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm okay with it. And I think that's all we have for the news, guys. As always, my name is Ryan Robinson. That's Shanae Howard.
Bye,
That's Tom
guys.
Shelby.
Later.
We'll give you more news next week.